If you want to win a shoutout in the next Repaint video, hit the comment section up with your guesses on what my inspirational materials were. Hints will be mentioned throughout the video, and there are 4 correct answers. 1 correct answer per comment, so there are 4 shoutout chances. By entering the FTC shoutout contest, you're agreeing.
Hey everybody, it's time for a Spookify ad break. Listen to the whole ad for 30 whole minutes of ad-free music. The Halloween Spooktacular is a one-time Halloween event being held at the Raccoon City Convention Center. Stuck in doctor's order quarantine? That's okay. A stream will be available on Raccoon TV's YouTube channel. You can see the works of Lil Lacey, Kay's One-of-a-Kind Factory, Dolls Haven, Tele y Dolles, and Fire Tuna Club. And now, back to the music.
Hello my fishies, it's time for another doll repaint. This one is actually going to be different because I'm making a guy. Yes, I know I am getting a WWE girl, but it's more for the head and less about the body. And I actually don't know who I'm making yet, but I am going to be meeting them at a pizza party. They've even promised me my favorite toppings on the pizza: mushrooms, pepperonis, sausages. Okay, I might be a little bit hungry. Anyway, I'm going to meet the person I'm going to be making a doll out of at the dinner. But I am going to go ahead and get some of the prep work done now because I can. Now, every doll artist knows tea time is the perfect time for some doll decapitation. Don't worry, it's just prep work. The body will get its head back, I promise. And also, some more prep work. Since I know it is a guy, I'm going to go ahead and adjust some things about the body. So that involves marking the body with Sharpie so I know where to cut and hitting it with my dribble. I'm using a cutoff wheel attachment in case you're curious. Hey, sorry I had to stop recording for a little bit because I was going to be late to the dinner. I did actually enjoy the pizza, it was delicious, and I did get to meet Hiro. So let's go ahead and rearrange his body around so that I can get it more in Hiro's shape. Hiro was actually quite a bit more substantial than I thought, so while I have a good base, it is not enough of a base. Alexia, play my Halloween ambient playlist, please.
Now playing Halloween ambient playlist.
So I need some wire, a little bit more. That's enough wire. I used my soldering iron to poke some holes in so that I had a place to run the wire through. And it's time to start building the framework for Hiro's new body. I mean, his doll that he's going to receive in his image. It's not a new body, I don't think. A good sturdy spine is important, however, once I got started, I did realize there was lots more modding to do. Meeting Hiro in person made me realize I needed to do more than just turn this female doll into a male doll. It's okay though, it's okay. His golem-like posture is impeccable, but it did mean I did have to cut out a bit more of the doll, add some curve into the leg, elongate some parts. It was a modding challenge, but I got to the end of it. I really do hope he'll appreciate what I'm making for him. I did carve out the back of the knee joints as well to increase mobility there, as well as you saw in the hip area to increase the leg mobility. And honestly, the feet were absolutely useless as they were, so I had to make some whole new feet for that as well, using Delightful's very helpful popsicle stick method. Which, if you want to learn more about how to do that, go check out Delightful's video. She explains it much better than I ever could. Although I will admit, I did tape my popsicle sticks in place to make sure that when I drilled the hole, it was a lot more even. Shut up, I know what I'm talking about. You can already tell a lot of work is going into the body, so I did give myself periodic breaks to work on smaller parts of the project. I made a template for the foot making sure that I marked where I wanted the ankle joint to be so that I did not make it too disproportional between the feet. The nice thing about paper, when you're working on feet, trace the template on one side, flip it over, trace the template again, and you have the other foot. I know I'm a smart...
Update from Raccoon News. Play update?
Yes.
Playing Raccoon News update.
Director of Raccoon City Hospital, Dr. Winters, has requested anyone experiencing persistent itching and unusual hunger pangs, please report to the hospital for treatment. This only furthers public fears that Raccoon City may be in the grip of an epidemic. Chief of Police Irons has arranged a press release for more information, scheduled tomorrow at 10 a.m. Subscribe to Raccoon News 7 for more updates.
Now hunger's a symptom? Alright, whatever. Yeah, I know. They just come up with the stupidest things to make news about. Okay, this is so the wrong music. Alexia, play the Halloween ambient playlist now.
Now playing Halloween ambient playlist.
Thank you. Look, I've already told you before, sculpting takes time. He deserves the best I have to offer. I have to put the time, attention, get the details right. This is his tributary item. It cannot look like someone else. It has to look like him. Look, okay, I know. I started out with air clay. I know you're like, why are you taking so much away when you're just gonna put more back on and then take it away again? It's just the way I work. Air clay goes on first, sanding, cutting, shaping, some more air clay, and then epoxy. It will come out in the end, I promise. Stop telling me what to do. I'm the artist here. And before any of you lecture me about airborne viruses, or, particles from all that sanding, I do use a mask, and I have an air purifier. Well, at least the filming lights didn't catch fire. Where's my old lighting equipment, dang it? Okay, anyway. Yes, I know, I keep getting... I'm not listening to you anymore, shut up. So, now that I've got most of the body modifications on and sculpted, I'm gonna do a little bit more sanding and then give myself a break from... How many days has it been now? Has it been weeks? Whatever, I don't want to think about it. I'm running out of time. I need to get this done for him. I have to prove myself. Well, I have to do his elegant swan-like neck. Good thing I have a 3D printer to help me along, or I'd have to be making these out of epoxy, and the symmetry would drive me insane. Okay. Let me just do a little bit of planning here. I got this, no problem. Okay, what I want to share with the collective today is my adventures in 3D printing. Yeah, I know it doesn't look like much, but I'm trying to understand the 3D printing method. Yes, I can model. Look, see. The whole point of my first couple of 3D printing projects was to understand how to improve the G-code, and how to deal with unexpected consequences, or even research expected consequences. Understanding the whole process better is something important to me, and I think a well-rounded understanding of this is something that Hiro would admire. I'm sorry, I meant the guide. Forgive me. Yes, thank you for pointing out the lines. I know I have a problem with sanding. I will do better with that. With your support, the next piece will be even better. Sharing time over. Back to finishing this doll. There's still so much left to do, like attaching the neck base to the body and then building more epoxy around it. This doll's key feature is epoxy curing time. Anyway, I also did painting, and just like the epoxy, that was done in waves. Yeah, I know there's an arm missing. Well, I made some mistakes with super glue and broke off one of the arms. I tried to fix it. The fix I did isn't good enough. It will break again at some point, but for now it's holding. I had to do some modding to the hands too. This tribute doll is in his key moment of blessing. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So unfortunately I did have to take my flesh cutters and cut some fingers off and use some floral wire to make some new structure. Just like with the body, there are wire bones. Unlike the body that was big enough for epoxy, I used the baking soda superglue combo again to fill in the fingers, and you guessed it, paint. So I invited over my friend Jacob from BlankSpaceDolls, you know him, yeah, he's on YouTube, and my friend Ellie, and I made the stuffed mushrooms you suggested. I followed the recipe and everything. Ellie wouldn't eat them. Can you believe that? We spent the whole time talking about the meaning of things, and she wouldn't touch the freaking mushrooms. She went on and on about mind-controlled mushroom ants, like my food was made of poison. Anyway, at some point we ended up on the conversation about tarot. You know me, I was totally focused on the Hierophant, wondering what it meant to them. And what do you know, Jacob was talking about how it was mentorship and guidance and spirituality and all sorts of other stuff. It was really hard not to look him in the face and tell him he was nuts and completely wrong. We all know what... I'm not gonna get into it. We don't need to start fighting about stupid people who don't understand what he stands for. Let's talk about something more positive. Do you think I did a good job capturing his face? Yeah, I know it's missing a lot of stuff, but I'm getting there. Dolls don't happen overnight. I'm not that fast. Time for all the little details that will bring this tribute doll to life. I made some homemade moss with some embroidery thread, and it did take a little bit of deciding which colors to use, but after that I decided I wanted a round of carpal tunnel and cut the embroidery floss really, really tiny. It's like making hair flocking, but in mossy colors. I had to make mushrooms to go with my moss, so using polymer clay and scrap wire, I made a bunch of little mushrooms, and then painted them. As I said before, this doll is a tribute, so I do want to keep it as accurate as possible. So I did actually use some leftover fake leaves that I had from a massacred flower, chopped them up really nice, and glued them to the feet to add a kind of wet grass feel. Using fast grab tacky glue, I did the same to the moss, adding it to the feet as well as drilled a hole and used some more glue and attached some mushrooms. You guys don't know how great he is? He is a walking ecosystem. So yes, I did carry it up through the whole body. And I am, yes, generally skipping the painting step, because there is painting, and painting, and painting, and painting, and you get it, okay? There's painting that I'm not covering because it's happening either off camera or because I couldn't explain exactly what I did once I've done it. So, on to more mushrooms. Yeah, I didn't forget the reishi mushrooms. No, I'm not providing a picture. They can Google it if they really want to know what it looks like. I couldn't replicate everything either, so I did have to get some help from Hobby Lobby. They have this wonderful moss pack that had exactly what I was looking for. I prepared the top tier break in his crown. It was actually pretty easy with a little bit of chipboard and fast grab tacky glue. And if you haven't guessed it already, yeah, that's right, you know where I was going. More moss, more mushrooms. Oh boy, did I make a lot of mushrooms. With his crown done, it was time to make him some clothes. I can't really show you what I did, being that they're, you know, sacred garb and all that, but I can tell you that I did 3D print some medallions because it did have to be accurate. That is very important to me. And of course, you know what that means. More paint. His sacred symbol is worked into many pieces of his outfit. Another key part where they're featured is his armor. There was an assassination attempt one time. Obviously they failed, but he's prepared for the future. I did my best to replicate his armor out of some craft foam and hot glue. I used a ruler that wasn't super sharp to work in some grooves on the foam. And then I used a leather punch to make the tiny rivets. It doesn't look like much, but a little bit of paint goes a very long way.
Update from Raccoon News. Play update?
Of course. Yes.
Playing Raccoon News update.
A fifth incident of a citizen attack and attempting to cannibalize another person has prompted increased police patrols. The public has dubbed the unnamed epidemic the cannibal disease. Please report to Raccoon City Hospital if you experience any symptoms. Subscribe to Raccoon News 7 for more updates.
Oh, I should wrap this up. I'm just looking forward to going to work tomorrow and being lysoled by my boss. I can just see it happening. I'm not going to cover the minor pieces of jewelry, but I am going to show you the ones that I did with a little bit of character and a really quick rundown of how I made it happen. I used some jump rings, an old earring, and some resin to make his necklace. Don't see it? Give me a second here. Get some pliers, put all your chains and jump rings together. You'll also want to use the UV resin to fuse the bigger jump rings into the shape of a symbol. And then just hook that onto the necklace you've made. I repeated this process with this scepter, attaching the interlocking circles to a cut toothpick. I then again used resin to attach that toothpick to a piece of dowel rod. I slid a jump ring up the dowel shaft and then again used resin to cure it in place. And then, using my hand drill, I drilled a hole into the bottom of the scepter. I then used the resin to secure a piece of wire in place, slid some pearls of assorted sizes, and resined them in place. Yes, I did make it accurate. I even included when William failed. We all know what happens when you fail the blessing of the scepter. Here's a close-up of his holy scepter. I think I did a pretty good job of replicating William's remains. I know what you're thinking. Does he hit people regularly? No. Does getting hit with a scepter hurt, if not kill you? Only if you're one of those heretics that believe in free will. The rest of us are perfectly fine when he blesses us. So, let's go ahead and put the tribute doll together so that I can go ahead and make the offering. Now, there are a lot of tiny pieces, but this goes together rather well, and I was really excited to put together the neck. This is not going according to plan. This is really not going according to plan. Don't tell him I can fix this. I can fix this. I have time. Hold, please. See? I told you I got this. No problem. The tribute doll's ready to go, and
Cat, a heathenous wave is overtaking Raccoon City. Come to me before it is too late. Find your brothers and sisters and meet me at the temple. We will find a new home to spread my word.
It's the end. We gotta get going. If you believe in the teachings, preach it in the comments. If you want to learn and become one of the collective, subscribe to the channel. To all the collective members out there, don't forget to like the video. Even if you can't listen and obey and become one of us, it's okay. Thanks for watching. And if I make it out of this city alive, see you all when I finish another project.